take the pressure.
Hi everyone, this is Jennifer from Kingdom Heritage. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I'm going to be making a few sets of videos, as many as I possibly can, because I may be going on a little short hiatus and I won't see you guys for a few weeks. So I want to keep the information flowing and I want to keep the conversations and the communion flowing between us. So I'm going to try to make as many videos as I possibly can in these few little days. So I made a post on Twitter that got so many retweets, and I ended up having a few conversations online about this tweet. And if you're not following me on Twitter, you can do so now. I have the link below, but I'm at Holy Armor. And the tweet was, I'll read it to you. It says, I want a man that sets the bar so high for his life and the pursuit of his dreams that it pushes me to follow him and to be humbled before him. And that's funny, somebody just said me too. So I'm reading it from Facebook now. If you're not following me on Facebook, there's a link below. I have a Facebook page for my ministry, Kingdom Heritage. I'd love to see you there. And the reason that I had even posted that is because I was just thinking about life and I was thinking about myself and I was thinking about who I want to be in connection with and what would make me continue to be loved and cherished and appreciated by a man. And I felt that it was a few factors that would come into play. And one of them is being humbled before him. Another one is having like taste as far as pursuing your dreams. And then God. And I got really inspired because I was watching Jada Pinkett. She was doing a interview about her show. Her show is canceled now, but at the time, I guess it was still running. And she was talking about how her and her husband were working together. And, you know, Jada Pinkett is a wonderful woman and she has a lot of talents and gifts. And I was introduced by a movie that she starred in, directed, and wrote. And I was blown away by this movie because it was such a wonderful example of how a woman can tap into all these different giftings and just have a product that is just so beautiful. And I admire her. And I was thinking, when I was listening to her, she was talking about how her and her husband were collaborating. And, you know, it was sometimes difficult because she had to learn how to kind of, you know, piggyback off of him and be humble before him and that sort of thing. And a lot of us won't do that. A lot of us won't be humble before men because we're not with men that are worthy of us being humble before. And that's one of the things that I feel is lacking with women when we are wanting to be connected with men. Me, myself, I'm not trying to be boastful but in any way because I'm not a boastful person. I'm actually a humble person. I really practice being humble all the time because I want to be exalted. I want to be exalted where God wants me to be. That's a powerful principle in the kingdom of God is that those that humble themselves, the Lord will exalt. And those that exalt themselves, the Lord will humble. And I don't want to be humbled by the Lord. As far as the things of God is concerned, I am a queen in this. And I feel that in order to be happy, to have longevity with a man and have a beautiful, fruitful relationship, he has to be on another level as far as I'm concerned, or on my level. And I think that's what's going to make a strong relationship. I want a man that is so thirsty and hungering after God because that's where my heart is. So I will forever be following, and that's our position as women. Wives, we're supposed to be following our husband. Our husband is following Christ. That's the positioning that we hold. And in order to stay that way, to stay humbled in that position, is to have a man before you that you're always hungering after, that you're willing to follow, because you know that he has a higher calling and he's following Christ. And that is what makes the difference in a lot of relationships. And we don't have that because either we don't feel that way about ourselves. So when any man that comes in our lives, we will take because we don't have a standard within ourselves, or Or we choose men based upon status, and then in the world, and then it's so much disrespect and belittlement that comes with it. So then we're not happy. So we are following a man in the world that's successful, that belittles us, that treats us bad, and then we are spiteful that we're following them, which makes the connection break all the time between the woman and the man, and definitely between the woman and God. So that's something that I constantly think about when I feel about when a man is presented to me is how how far is he willing to go to pursue his dreams? How much faith does he have in himself and in God to go towards the things that he feels in his spirit and in his heart that he should be doing, that should manifest in his life? Because that is the man that you will want to be connected to. I heard Oprah, and you know Oprah and Stedman, and I have been to several events where Stedman has spoke. And you think that Oprah is a great speaker. Stedman is an awesome speaker. That man is serious business, and I can see how she would love him because his stature, his demeanor, his intelligence, his charisma is very magnetic, and she has the same thing. So I heard Oprah in an interview say that the man that you with has to have his own. And that's very important, women of God. When we're looking for a man, we have to know that they're pursuing and committed to their dreams first, because we don't want a man that's so wrapped up in us and pursuing us, and there is a time for that, but pursuing us so diligently that they are not concerned about what's going on with them. And then once they get us, they start becoming so concerned about getting things for themselves that they neglect us. So we have to have things done decently and in order. We have to want a man in our lives that we can see Christ in. And I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about what we were looking for in men. And, we named the normal things. And most recently, I have been having, and I'm going to either make a video about this or something about my relationship with Christ. And my relationship with Christ is taking a whole nother level. And my love for Christ has increased and increased so much that my whole mind has been renewed on what it is that I want in a man. And when we were having this conversation, we were naming things, and I was quiet. And then my friend was like, "Well, what is it that you want?" And I said, "I want holiness." And it just came out. And I was just like, "I want holiness in a man." And I didn't, even when I was saying it, I really didn't understand what I was saying, but I meant it, and I still mean it. And in comparison to Christ, we can't compare any man to Christ, but right now, as being single and unmarried, we are connected to Christ, establishing our integrity with Christ, being built up and restored in ourselves so that we can join with a man. And when you are in relationship with Christ, it renews your mind and your thoughts and your eyesight on what's in the world and what should be presented before you. And I want a king. I want a man that's holy. I don't particularly care for men that's swagged out anymore. That is not as appealing to me anymore. I don't particularly care for a man that is financially, now we're talking about financially stable, of course, we want that, but I'm talking about money would kind of outweigh, and we do that. We have times in our lives where we, oh, okay, well, he's doing well. I may be able to overlook other things. But when you have that relationship with Christ, you look directly at the root of things and of people. And I want holiness. I want a man that is holy before God, before me, that respects and honors God and understands that his position as being my husband is to love me as Christ loved the church. And that's very difficult because Christ gave his life for the church. So sometimes that's what it takes. A man has to sometimes give his life in order to be joined with a holy woman. And when I say give his life, I don't mean jump off a building or nothing like that. I mean give up those things in the world that was his life. It may be drinking. It may be smoking. It may be going to the club every other night. It may be something that's not necessarily negative, something that's good, something that consumes a lot of his time. He may have to die to those things in order to receive a queen in his life. And a man that's holy and that's following God and has the mind of Christ is more than willing to do that. Jesus was more than willing to give his life for the body. So, this is what I feel that we should kind of change our minds about, something that we should continue to seek God about. We should seek God right now in our singleness, to be joined to him in a level and in a realm that's beyond our understanding. It's there where we receive vision and enlightenment and revelation of who we are in relationship to the kingdom and in relationship to him, and then who God places in our lives. So when I wrote that, I meant that, and I'll say it again. I want a man that sets the bar so high for his life in the pursuit of his dreams that it pushes me to follow him and be humble before him. And I believe that if you meditate on those words, if you allow that thought to come into your mind, it will change your whole perspective on potential mates. So I just want to leave that word with you, women of God. I want you to meditate on that. And this for men too. Men, you should be wanting a woman that's pushing towards the mark. You should be wanting a woman that's willing to follow you and take heed to your counsel. You should be wanting a woman that will humble and be submissive to you. That's something that you should desire and look for in a wife. So this isn't just for women, it's for you also. But be that man that a woman is willing to follow. Be that man that has the mind of Christ. Be that man that's holy, that's willing to be a holy covering over a woman. Be those things. And if you're not those things, if you're not ready to die to those things, spending $2,000 on rims or whatever men do, being sometimes selfish or being frivolous with money, you may have to die to those things. If you're not ready for those things, you're not ready for a woman, a queen, a holy woman of God. And we should all desire those things. We should all desire holiness in our mates. So I just want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to visit me at my ministry, www.ourkingdomheritage.com. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I have the link below. Come and check me out on my Facebook page. It's growing every day. I love my Facebook family, and I would love for you to like the page and drop me a line and say hello. Say that you have changed your mind about what you're looking for. Leave me a comment below and tell me what you're personally looking for in a mate. I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for watching. I can't wait until the Lord allows me to see you again. Bye. I decided to go.